17-year-old Lily Reiser accepts a ride from her trusted teacher, Rick Hansen, only to be kidnapped and held captive in a hidden cabin. As her family desperately searches for her, Rick pretends to be a concerned hero in public while tormenting Lily in private, calling her baby doll, taking her newborn daughter Alice, and erasing all evidence of his crimes. After 5 years in captivity, Lily manages to escape and reveals the truth about Rick. Though he is arrested, he manipulates the court and eventually escapes custody, leading to a final confrontation in the same basement where it all began. In a fight for survival, Lily's sister Abby stabs Rick. With Rick gone, Lily and Alice are finally free, but as they begin to move forward, Lily faces a life-changing decision about their future. The show opens quietly, almost suffocating in its tension. We see a girl, her identity unclear, moving around a tiny room, prepping strawberries and whipped cream for a man whose face stays hidden. Before serving, she spits on the fruit, a small act of rebellion that's quickly crushed when he pulls her to him by an ankle chain. He's in control from the start, and fear is everywhere. Suddenly, we're thrown into a normal morning with 17-year-old twins Lily and Abby Reiser. Their mom Eve does her best to keep things upbeat, snapping a selfie as she drives them to school. The sisters couldn't be more different. Lily's outgoing and bold, always with her boyfriend Wheeze, while Abby is quieter, focused on school and her own escape. At school, Abby leans on her English teacher, Mr. Hansen, who encourages her writing and talks about her future. But things get uncomfortable when he tells her to call him Rick and gives her a book, his interest crossing a line that Abby doesn't fully realize yet. Later, Abby heads to a hangout at an abandoned factory, while Lily stays home, until she changes her mind, grabs Abby's jacket and follows. The sisters' reunion explodes into a heated argument about their lives and futures. Lily ends up slapping Abby and storming off alone. While walking home, Lily is approached by Rick in his car. She gets in, vents about her frustrations, but things quickly turn threatening when Rick doesn't stop at her street. He drugs her with chloroform and disposes of her phone, leaving Lily missing. Back at home, Abby and Eve sleep, unaware of what's happened. When Abby notices Lily's absence in the morning, panic sets in. Eve calls the police and detectives arrive to start the investigation. Abby, racked with guilt, keeps quiet about their fight. The search for Lily starts fast but goes nowhere. Her phone is found but nothing else. Eve makes a public plea for help, while Rick watches at home with his wife, pretending to be concerned. Rick manages to insert himself into the investigation, volunteering to help and subtly shifting suspicion toward Wheeze. He stays close to Abby, acting supportive and trustworthy. Meanwhile, the reality is brutal. Lily wakes up chained in a rundown cabin, terrified. Rick visits, unmoved by her pleas, telling her no one will find her. At home, stress fractures the family. Eve drinks, Abby and Wheeze argue, and blame circulates. Rick continues manipulating Abby, offering her rides and planting seeds of doubt about Wheeze. In the cabin, Rick brings Lily a dress and when she refuses, hits her. He calls her his baby doll and promises to make her obedient, the true nightmare of the story becoming clear. It's been a year since Lily vanished, and everything has only gotten darker. Rick still makes trips to a secluded cabin, pretending to everyone that he's writing a novel. The truth is, Lily's hidden inside, chained up and now pregnant. Rick treats her like a doll, bringing her a bassinet and rewarding her for good behavior. She's learned to act happy when he arrives, forced to play along. He calls her baby doll. She responds because she has no choice. Meanwhile, Lily's sister Abby has changed. Once ambitious, she's dropped out of college and drifts with people who barely notice her. Their mother Eve wants to relaunch the search for Lily, but her boyfriend, Detective Tommy, says they need real leads, not just hope. On the twins' birthday, Eve breaks down in front of Rick. He's the picture of sympathy, offering advice and worming his way deeper into their lives, all while hiding the truth. But Rick's facade starts to crack. His wife Zoe gets suspicious and follows him to the cabin. She discovers his manuscript, baby doll, proof he's hiding something. She doesn't see Lily, but when she confronts Rick later, he gaslights her until she apologizes for doubting him. Abby spirals, drinking with Archie, who makes a cruel joke about Lily's fate. Furious, Abby sets Archie's car on fire. Wheeze intervenes before things get worse. In the woods, he confides in Abby, and together they vow to honor Lily's birthday, even if no one else believes she's alive. In the cabin, Lily goes into labor. She deceives Rick and nearly strangles him with her chain, but he recovers and restrains her again. He delivers the baby himself, then tells Lily the baby died, burning the evidence. In reality, he brings the baby home to Zoe, and together, they raise the child as their own. Abby and Wheeze meet on Lily's birthday to remember her. Eve apologizes for blaming Abby and urges her to live again. Rick continues his double life, keeping Zoe convinced and Lily imprisoned. Eventually, Lily is pushed to the brink. She destroys the basement, attempting to end her suffering, but Rick intervenes, threatening Abby to keep Lily in line. He plays her a recording of her mother's voice as a warning. Lily continues to survive for Abby's sake. Rick grows complacent. He leaves the chain loose, stops locking the door as tightly. 5 years go by, the family never stops searching. Abby and Wheeze remain close. Rick keeps teaching, now eyeing a new student, Caroline. One day, Rick forgets to lock the basement door. Lily notices. For the first time in years, hope flickers. She might finally escape. She pushes through, running for her life. At the same moment, Rick, miles away, realizes what happened. He spins his car around, his calm cracking. Lily sprints into the woods with no plan, only desperate instinct. She eventually makes it to a main road and flags down a driver, trembling so much she can barely speak. The driver gets her to town. Rick gets back to the empty cabin minutes later, feels the loss, then quickly regains his composure. The driver brings Lily to her house. Eve opens the door and is frozen with shock, then relief, then disbelief. Lily is barely hanging on. Abby arrives and the twins cling to each other, needing to be sure this is real. Even so, Lily still feels Rick's hold on her and begs Abby not to tell anyone she's back. Police arrive. Detectives Tommy and Rachel are gentle but persistent. Eventually, Lily says Rick Hansen's name, her teacher. Tommy moves fast, but Rick is already gone, having told Zoe a story about a dangerous ex-student before fleeing with her and their daughter. Eve and Abby take Lily to the hospital. During the exam, when the doctor asks about her pregnancy, Lily repeats Rick's lie, that she lost a baby boy. Eve hears this for the first time, but nobody corrects it. Reporters swarm outside. Inside, Lily enters her old room and finally collapses under the weight of everything she's endured. Police move quickly. They arrest Rick at a restaurant in front of his family. At home, Abby rushes to tell Eve, only to find her unconscious from pills and alcohol. Eve survives, but things only get messier. At the station, Rick keeps manipulating, telling lies about Lily, calling her obsessed, blaming one mistake, even pulling Abby into it by claiming she had feelings for him. Police find the cabin burned down, no evidence left. Tommy keeps digging and finds another missing girl, Isobel. Lily was Rick's first victim. In prison, Zoe confronts Rick. He breaks her illusions, revealing their daughter Alice is actually Lily's child. Lily tries to rebuild, but struggles. She calls Wheeze, and their lunch is awkward but hopeful. Then the truth comes out. Abby and Wheeze have been together for years. Shattered, Lily leaves. The sisters' relationship breaks. Abby breaks up with Wheeze and moves out, guilt taking over. Lily is free and Rick is in prison, but nothing is simple. Home has changed, and so has she. Lily faces Rick during a tense prison visit. The second he walks in, acting like nothing's wrong, all her old trauma comes flooding back. Rick's not running the show anymore. Inside, the other inmates go after him and he's desperate for control. Detective Tommy pushes him for answers about Isobel, the missing girl from Rick's past, but Rick won't talk unless he sees Lily. The idea terrifies her and Eve. Meanwhile, Abby's dealing with her own crisis. Turns out she's pregnant, and the father is Wheeze, Lily's ex. At home, Eve's checked out, drinking to cope, and Abby can't get through to her. The atmosphere at home is tense and suffocating. Lily, craving some sense of normalcy, tries to reconnect with Wheeze at their old hangout, but he gently shuts her down. He's with Abby now. When Lily learns about Abby's pregnancy, it's a tough blow. The sisters cry, apologize, and try to make amends, but things feel fragile. Back in prison, Rick's still manipulating everyone. Zoe nervously prepares to speak for him at his hearing, and he pressures her during her visit. He even cuts a deal with Melanie, a guard trading favors for protection. Meanwhile, police keep searching for Isobel near a burned cabin, but come up empty. Things explode at home when Lily breaks a plate, overwhelmed by stress and anger. She realizes she has to see Rick again to help the police. Abby goes with her and cops watch closely. During the visit, Rick twists the truth, claiming everything between him and Lily was consensual and making her out to be obsessed. He denies everything. Abby, watching through the glass, snaps and tries to go after Rick, causing chaos. Lily, completely undone, retreats into herself. Eve, furious, blames Tommy for reopening Lily's wounds and throws him out. Abby pleads for Lily's forgiveness, while Eve turns back to drinking. With Rick alone in his cell, staring at Lily's photo and whispering goodnight, his obsession is far from over. 4 years ago, Rick walked into the house with baby Alice in his arms, spinning a story for his wife, Zoe. He claimed the baby was from a student who didn't want her after a one-night stand. Still grieving her own lost pregnancies, Zoe immediately bonded with Alice, never suspecting the real truth was right in front of her. Now the Reiser home is clouded by trauma. Lily barely speaks and ignores the birthday gifts she missed while she was gone. She's convinced that love has to be earned by being good, an idea she just can't shake. Meanwhile, Abby and Eve are constantly at each other's throats, their fighting only making things harder for Lily. Even from prison, Rick keeps manipulating the situation. He controls Zoe's every word for her plea hearing, making her rehearse exactly what he wants her to say. He manages to befriend a prison guard, exchanging favors so he can keep his privileges and maintain influence outside the prison walls. Detective Tommy starts to suspect there's more to Alice's origins. Abby pieces things together and confronts Zoe. The moment Alice appears, Abby notices how much she resembles Lily. Tensions flare, and the confrontation turns violent, leaving Abby unconscious and everything spiraling out of control. During the trial, Rick remains calm and denies everything. Zoe arrives late, begins to recite the script Rick gave her, but then something inside her changes. She throws away his version, reveals the full truth, and stands with Lily. Finally, the truth about the stolen child is exposed. But Rick isn't finished yet. Cornered by Zoe's testimony, he fakes a medical emergency in court, attacks the guard, and escapes. Zoe takes Alice and flees. Lily finds photos of Alice online and realizes her baby is alive. Rick disappears into the woods, leaving everyone anxious about what might happen next. The forest is chaos. Rick Hansen escapes and wastes no time. He kills a man, steals a car and a phone, then calls the Reiser family. His voice is cold as ice. He drops a chilling hint to Lily about their special place and reveals that Alice is still alive, sending waves of fear through the family. The police rush the Reisers into a safe house, with detectives Tommy and Rachel keeping watch. But sleep won't come easy for Lily, who's haunted by memories of her captivity. Meanwhile, Abby shares big news with Wheeze. She's pregnant. The family tension just keeps mounting. On the run, Rick's wife Zoe tries to flee with Alice, but police stop them on a deserted highway. Realizing the damage she's done, Zoe lets Alice go and nearly jumps off a bridge. A detective pulls her back at the last moment. She's headed for psychiatric care, her future uncertain. Lily can't shake Rick's words about their special place, their old cabin. Abby, determined to protect her family, puts on Lily's pink hoodie and heads to the burned-out cabin alone. It all comes to a head fast. Rick mistakes Abby for Lily and attacks her, dragging her into the basement where Lily was once held. He reveals that Abby was his real target all along. In the struggle, Abby grabs a knife and fatally stabs him in the neck, ending his terror for good. Lily, Eve, and the police arrive to find Rick dead. Detective Tommy rules it self-defense. Their search uncovers Isobel's remains, confirming Rick's crimes ran even deeper than anyone knew. Months later, the family is healing. Abby and Wheeze are expecting twins. They share a meal with Lily and Eve, finally able to laugh again. Lily visits Alice in foster care. When Alice asks if Lily is her mother, Lily quietly says yes, knowing that healing is a slow process. Zoe's fate is still up in the air. She's broken and in need of serious help. The season wraps up on a bittersweet note. Justice is finally served, hope is returning, and the Reisers can breathe again, even if the future is fragile.